Insurance, Angelo's Pizza, Central Kentucky Ag Credit, Southern States, Cynthiana Vision Center.
And welcome to Harrison County High School Baseball. I'm Jim Swinford coming to you from the Hilltop, where tonight the Harrison County Thoroughbreds will be taking on the Colonels of Dixie Heights in the first game of the annual Harris Memorial Hospital Invitational. Tournament that's already been somewhat scuttled because of the weather. Last night the Breds were supposed to have played Sayre, but the rain had other ideas and that game has been called off. Tonight, a doubleheader. Our first game will pit Harrison County against Dixie Heights. Then later on, Dixie will stick around and take on Scott, who is already here and ready to go. This game was supposed to start at 5:30, but Dixie got here a little bit late, and so that is why we are having somewhat of a late start. Harrison County will come into today's game with a record of 4-1, while Dixie is struggling coming out of the gates with a record of just 1-2. While we have this opportunity, and I'm thinking about it, let's send it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. Alrighty, lovely day for baseball here on the Hilltop. Wind blowing out towards left field. It's got enough strength to where a ball gets in the air. It might carry it over, but it's not blowing too awfully hard. Nice crowd, great crowd for today's game. Of course, I think after last year getting the whole season canceled, a lot of people hungry for baseball. And although we started out last week, obviously, with 4 wins and 1 loss, good to be back on the Hilltop here today. Well, the coaches are exchanging the lineups. Of course, Mac Whitaker, the coach at Harrison County, Chris Maxwell, the coach at Dixie Heights. Let's take a look now at the batting order for Dixie. Leading off will be their shortstop, Jay Flynn. He'll be followed by Alex Stiksinski, the second baseman. Batting third will be the catcher, Ethan Bosley. Cleaning up today for Dixie will be their third baseman, Logan Wilson. He'll be followed by the right fielder, Brad Kotkamp. In the sixth hole will be the first baseman, Kieran Garazzi. He'll be followed by the designated hitter, Micaiah Sturdivant. Sturdivant batting for the pitcher, Mason Adkins. In the 8th spot will be the center fielder, Wyatt Hurth. And rounding out the batting order today for Dixie will be their left fielder, Tyler Winkle. So once again for the Colonels, it'll be Flynn, Stiksinski, Bosley, Wilson, Kotkamp, Garazzi, Sturdivant, Hurth, and Winkle. Defensively for the Thoroughbreds, Lucas Harrington is behind the plate with Corey Vaughn at first. Elijah Harris gets the call at second base today with Mason Smiley at third and Cliffy McElvain at short. And left right in the outfield, Austin Nichols, Gunnar Cole, and Benton Bramall, all backing up the pitching this afternoon of Braxton Grubb. Grubb pitching for the first time since he threw back on the third. That was in the win over McLean County, in which he pitched very well. This will be his third appearance, his second start so far this year. Braxton's thrown 10 innings, given up just 6 hits while walking 3, has struck out 15 in those 10 innings. He's given up a couple of runs, only one of which has been earned. Has a record of 1-0, including a save, and a sterling ERA of 0.70. So very good start to the year for Braxton Grubb. Grubb getting the call in this, the first of, we hope, 2 and maybe 3 games in this tournament this weekend, but the rain is just not going to help us out any, as it's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon, and that may throw a wrench into our plans to play Covington Scott at 5:30. We'll see how the things change. That game may be moved up during the day just to beat the rain, but nothing is scheduled for sure right now. Talking about Braxton Grubb, a sophomore, and really in his first full year as a member of the starting rotation has done awfully well. We were talking about the early season for Dixie Heights. They started out the year last Monday when they traveled across the river to Cincinnati to take on Archbishop McNicholas and lost that game 7-6. They came back across the river to this side to host Villa Madonna and knocked out the Vikings 7-0. And in their most recent game, which was last Wednesday, they lost to Ryle at home 5-1. So kind of an up and down season so far here in the early going for Dixie Heights, who normally has a very good baseball program, but as we said, struggling to get out of the gates here in this first part of the year. But that is not a reflection on how they'll do come tournament time, as they, just like every other team in the Commonwealth, had to miss out last year. And if you know anything about baseball, it's hard to get your timing back after being off for that length of time. So that's been the case. We've seen some good hitting on the Thoroughbred side, but at times has been inconsistent, especially with runners in scoring position. But right now the Breds doing very well at 4-1 so far. The Thoroughbreds have outscored their opponents 40-24. So that's a good number there. Averaging 8 runs per game. If you can average 8 runs per game, you should win just about all your ball games, and that is exactly what the Breds have done so far this year as far as averaging 8 runs. And a 4-1 record. Their only loss came this past Monday when we traveled down to Henderson County and lost the Colonels 9-2. A game that Henderson just kind of took over early. Scored 5 runs before we even got our seats warm, and just went on to win 9-2. It just seemed like everything was off for some reason on Monday. Our hitting was off. We were 3 for 15, I think it was, with runners in scoring position, which is not good. The pitching was just a little bit off. One of those games where our guys just did not adjust to the way the umpires were calling the game. Well, we're about to have the national anthem, so we'll take a listen to that, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the first pitch of today's game between Harrison County and Dixie. But right now, let's bring you our Star Spangled Banner.
The catcher, Lucas Harrington, and the pitcher, Braxton Grubb. At this time, would you please stand for the playing of our national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, say, can you see?
Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. Harrison County about to take on Dixie Heights. There has been one small change in the lineup in that Corey Vaughn will be on the mound and Braxton Grubb will be at first. So make that change here in our lineup card. Corey pitching for the first time since he threw against Bracken County. That was a couple of weeks ago, in fact, almost 2 weeks, back on 3/30. In that game, he threw just one inning in relief, gave up a hit, and struck out 3 batters. So struck out 3 of the 4 batters he faced and has a 0.00 ERA. Shortstop Jay Flynn will start things off here in the top half of the first inning for Dixie as we're just about to get this game underway from the hilltop. First delivery by the left-handed throwing Vaughn is going to be up high for ball 1. Flynn wears number 3 on the back of his jersey. Waits the next delivery to him from Vaughn. The wind and the 1-0 to the plate is going to be right on the inside part of the plate, evening up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Flynn on the year batting .375. Has not gotten an extra base hit yet. Has an RBI. He's walked 3 times and scored a couple of runs. His next pitch is taken for a strike. Ball and 2 strikes. Now the count to Flynn. Harrison 5-1. I'll make that 4-1. Harrison 4-1. Dixie 1-2. From the wind up, the next pitch to Flynn is going to be fouled off and out of play to the right side. This count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield playing Flynn pretty much straight away. Left fielder Austin Nichols fairly deep. Now edging closer to the second base bag, the second baseman Elijah Harris, as the next pitch is delivered low and inside, and that'll even up the count at 2-2. Shadows already starting to crawl across the infield. Right now the sun right in the right fielder's eyes. Getting the sign from his catcher Harrington is Vaughn. The next pitch is low again, and that'll load up the count at 3-2. So Flynn already making Vaughn work, as this will be the 7th pitch of this opening plate appearance. Pretty good crowd on hand. Come down from Dixie to watch their Colonels play today. And the payoff to the plate is going to be down low, ball 4. So an inauspicious start to the game for Vaughn on the mound as he 1-2 on the batter, but then eventually walked Flynn. They'll bring Alex Steksinski to the plate. Steksinski, the second baseman. Over at first base, Grubb holding the runner Flynn on. Vaughn takes a look, now throws over there, but not in time. Over at third base, Mason Smiley, about a couple steps in on the infield grass. As Harrington flashes the sign, Vaughn takes a look at first again. A pretty good sized lead by Flynn as the next pitch is popped up foul and out of play to the right side. Runs the count to 0-1. Well, you probably know about Snappy's Beast Pizza, but don't forget to try the calzones and sandwiches too. Call 235-7627. That's 235. Thank you, Ryan. Came in hard with that snap. Good job. Next pitch is going to be just a bit low. Pops out of the mitt of Harrington, but not far enough away for Flynn to advance. Although the count now on Steksinski will even up at 1-1. Top of the first, no score. Beautiful day for baseball here on the hilltop. Temperature probably in the low 70s. The 1-1 is fouled off the press box on a carom. Count goes to 1-2 on Steksinski. Hustling back to the first base bag is Flynn, who walked to begin the game. Scott High School, as we said, already here. They'll play Dixie in the next game. Check of the runner by Vaughn. And the pitch is going to be up high again. That'll run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steksinski on the year batting just .111 on 1 out of 9. Does have a couple of RBIs and a couple of walks, however. So we need to go ahead and throw this guy strikes. Next pitch is low and outside, and that'll load up the count. So for the second consecutive batter, Vaughn goes to a full count on. He lost Flynn to a walk. Now let's see if he can retire number 11 here. He's 1 out of 9. Closing in on the second base bag is Harris as the next pitch is up. High ball 4. So back-to-back walks delivered to Flynn and Stiksinski. Brings Ethan Bosley to the plate.
Now batting, number 4, Ethan Bosley.
Bosley wears the number 4. And is catching today for the Colonels. Batting .333 on 4 out of 12. It's the most hits on the team. A couple of RBIs as well. Pitch to him is going to be low and inside for a ball. Bosley squared the bunt, but then brought the bat back when he saw the pitch was going to be out of the strike zone. Looks down to his coach, Chris Maxwell, in the third base coaching box before stepping back in. Crowding the plate somewhat and way back in the box as well. Vaughn checks the runners. Checks them again, and the pitch is going to be popped up on the right side, sailing towards the fence, and it's going to actually bounce foul in behind Harrington. But a strike nonetheless will run the count to 0-2. Wynn might have caught that ball as it looked at first like Harrington was going to have a play, then all of a sudden the ball was a good 5 feet behind him. The wind is blowing rather briskly out towards left field. Colonel's threatening here in the top of the first with 2 on and nobody out on a couple of bases on balls. Now Vaughn will step off the back of the rubber. He tries to collect himself here, and Bosley digs in at the plate as well. 1-1 the count to him. And the next pitch is right down Main Street. Nice pitch that time by Vaughn. Ball and 2 strikes now the count to Bosley. Vaughn just needs to concentrate on throwing strikes to this guy. Takes a look back at second base at Flynn. And the 1-2 is a bouncer to the right side. Harris has it. He'll flip on to the shortstop McIlvain for 1. The return to first will not be in time. Now a throw to third is not in time to catch Flynn off the bag, but the first out is recorded, 4-6.
Now batting,
But
number
runners
2,
are on the
Logan
corners
Wilson.
with just 1 out for their cleanup hitter, Logan Wilson. Wilson playing over at third base today. He's batting .273 on the young season. Couple of doubles. Has a couple of RBIs as well. Over at first base, Grubb holding the runner Bosley on as the first pitch to the place low and inside for a ball. Gonna have to stop starting all these guys off with the ball pitch on the very first pitch. Wandering down from third base is Flynn. Corner infielders. Here's a bouncer to the mound. Trying to get 2 will be Grubb. He'll throw it in behind the bag to McIlvain, who will then flip it to Harris covering to get the out. However, scoring from third base will be Flynn. So an RBI fielder's choice.
Now batting, number 14, Brad Cotkamp.
For an RBI, 1-0. Dixie in the lead, and the out goes 1-6-4. There's some confusion on the Reds defense on the interior. All right, Brad Cotkamp to the plate. He's the right fielder. First pitch him is low and inside for a ball. Over at first base, Wilson being held on by Grubb. Let's see here, Cotkamp on the year, batting .333. A double, a triple, 2 RBIs. He's also walked once. Leaning towards second base is Wilson as the pitch is hammered into left field, but standing there waiting on his Nichols will pull in for out number 3. But a run does come across the plate. It came by way of no base hits. There were no errors and 1 left. As we head now to the bottom of the first, your score, Dixie Heights 1 and Harrison County coming to bat. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Already here in the bottom half of the first inning, the Colonels of Dixie Heights strike first with a run in the top half of the frame. Now let's see what the Breads can do. Take a look at the starting lineup. Leading off will be the second baseman, Elijah Harris. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Cliffy McIlvain. Batting third, the center fielder, Gunnar Cole. In the cleanup spot will be the pitcher today for Harrison County, that being Corey Vaughn. Actually, we changed that, didn't we? Batting fifth will be the left fielder, Austin Nichols. He'll be followed by Mason Smiley, who's at third. Lucas Harrington's behind the plate. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, Benton Bramall. And rounding out the batting order today for Harrison County will be the first baseman, Braxton Grubb. Defensively for Dixie Heights, Ethan Bosley's behind the plate with Kieran Garachi at first. Alex Dixinski is at second with Logan Wilson at third and Jay Flynn at short. Left fielder is Tyler Winkle. The center fielder, Wyatt Hirth, and the right fielder is Brad Kottkamp, all backing up the pitching of Mason Adkins. Harris stands in there, squares to bunt, brings the bat back as the pitch is high and outside for ball one. Harris reached a couple of times in that loss to Henderson County back on Monday. Reaching on air, he also reached on a walk and scored one of the 2 runs Harrison County plated. Next pitch to number 5 is a bouncer glove by the third baseman, Wilson. Throws across the diamond to retire Harris for the first out. That was a hard shot to the left side. Nice play that time, really, by Wilson for out number 1. That'll bring Cliffy McIlvain to the plate. McIlvain over at shortstop.
Now batting, number 25, Cliffy McIlvain.
Should let you know that Mason Adkins is making his first appearance on the mound this year for Dixie. McIlvain stands in there and awaits the first delivery to him from the big right-hander, a junior. First pitch is low and outside for a ball. McIlvain on the season, batting .375. Still looking for his first extra base hit, but does have an RBI and a couple of runs scored. The wind by Adkins, and the pitch is going to be on the outside part of the plate, evening up the count at 1-1. 1 out, nobody on for the Breds. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. First game of this year's Harris Memorial Hospital Breds Baseball Invitational. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. As that time Adkins pulled the string and caught McIlvain way out in front of it. So Cliffy in the hole, 1-2. Collects himself before stepping back into the batter's box. Wind still blowing out towards left. The 1-2 to the plate is way outside. That time Adkins got a little too much mustard on it. Threw it outside. His count goes even at 2-2. Left fielder Tyler Winkle near the edge of the bank. Break-even pitch is a bouncer to the right side, a 3-hopper to the second baseman, Stiksinski. He'll throw on to first to Garachi to retire McIlvain for out number 2. So a 2 down and nobody on. Gunnar Cole will try to start a rally.
30, Gunnar Cole.
Cole patrolling center field today. On the year batting .400. Has a team leading 2 doubles. He's also driven 3 and is co-leader on the team in hits with 6. He's also scored 4 runs. First pitch to him is going to be just a bit outside for ball 1. Vaughn on deck, hoping for a chance to bat here in the bottom of the first, but Cole has got to get on base first. He wheels the bat around as Adkins' next pitch is going to be a bouncer past the mound. Once again, a double hopper to Stiksinski, the second baseman. He'll fire on to Garachi for out number 3. So the Breds go down in order here in the bottom of the first. As we head to the top of the second, your score remains Dixie Heights 1 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. Dixie Heights leads the Thoroughbreds 1-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Here in this inning, starting things off for Dixie, Kieran Garachi, Micaiah Sturdivant, and Wyatt Hirth, all trying to get a piece of Corey Vaughn, who is on the mound for the Breds today in his second appearance of the year.
Now batting, number 20, Kiernan Geraci.
Taking a look at Garachi's numbers on the year. He has yet to pick up a base hit, as he is 0 for 5 in the early going. So let's not walk this guy. The wind and the pitch to the plate is going to be down low for ball 1. That's 5 consecutive batters that Vaughn has started out with a ball out of the strike zone. Left-hander's next delivery is going to be tipped off of the face mask of the home plate umpire, evening up the count at 1-1. Get an insurance agent that gets you covered like an All-American center fielder. That's Dan Furnish here in Harrison County. Call 234-4514 to talk to Dan. Outfield playing straight away as the 1-1 is delivered and hit high in the air on the left side. Nichols near the base of the bank, lets it fall behind him for a base hit. Jogging on into second base with his first base hit of the season is Garachi. I'm not sure what happened out there in left. The wind is blowing out towards left field, but Nichols looked like he was going to have a play on it. And then all of a sudden, the ball was a foot behind him. That happened a lot down at Henderson, a lot of misplayed balls. So with a runner in scoring position at second and nobody out, Micaiah Sturdivant to the plate. He's DHing for the pitcher, Mason Adkins. Check back at the runner at second by Vaughn. The first pitch is high and inside for ball 1. Sturdivant on the year is making his first plate appearance. Down at second base, Garachi makes his lead as he's being held close by the middle infielders. Here's a bunt attempt that's going to be tipped foul into the mitt of Harrington for a strike, evening up the count at 1-1. Dixie 1-2 on the season. They've scored a total of 14 runs and given up 12. Check of the runner at second by Vaughn. And the pitch is going to be sliced foul to the right side. That'll put him in the hole 1-2. Nobody out under clear blue skies here on the hilltop. Long look in to Harrington for the pitch selection by Vaughn, and the 1-2 is fouled out of play to the right side once again. So the count remains 1-2 on the designated hitter, Micaiah Sturdivant. Crowds will play a little bit more this time. In fact, his hands are over top the inside part of the plate. The 1-2 is low and inside. Nice stop by Harrington to keep Garachi from moving from second to third. However, the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sturdivant. He'll call time as he digs into the batter's box. Red's already down 1-0 here in the top of the second. Don't want this guy to get a hit. The break even to the plate is swung on and missed for strike 3. Nice delivery that time by Vaughn for his first strikeout of the game. So with 1 down and that runner still at second, Wyatt Hirth will come to the plate, the center fielder.
Now batting, number 7, Wyatt Hirth.
Hirth 0 for 6 in the early going for Dixie. He does have a run scored, however, as he's also picked up a couple of walks. Here's a shot foul to the right side. Down to the softball field where I believe the freshman Phillies are playing. 0-1 the count to Hirth. He'll step back into the batter's box and await the next delivery from Vaughn. Garachi, who led off the inning with a double, wanders away from the second base bag. As the 0-1 is delivered and a bouncer to the right side. This will move the runner over. Harris will throw out the batter, Wyatt Hirth, for the second out. But another run now, just 90 feet away for Dixie with 2 outs for the 9th place hitter, Tyler Winkle.
Now batting, number 23, Tyler Winkle.
Winkle playing out in left field. He is 1 for 3 this season. He scored a run. Good size lead at third base by Garachi. First pitch to the plate, it's on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Nice pitch that time by Vaughn, who hopefully now has kind of found his rhythm. Look into his catcher for the sign. And now a peek over to third base, Garachi. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Good high heat that time that Winkle went chasing after. And now, after giving up that leadoff double, Vaughn just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning without any more difficulties. Takes a look over at third. Now steps off the back of the rubber. Chasing Garachi back to the bag. Smiley trying to keep him as close as possible. From the stretch. The pitch by Vaughn is fouled off out of play to the right side. Well, if nothing else, these Dixie batters battle. And battle and battle and battle. New set of baseballs delivered to the home plate umpire. As we're getting ready to hopefully see a strike here. Choking up on the bat handle about a half an inch is Winkle. And the 0-2 once again is poked foul once again. So a couple of 2-strike foul balls by Tyler Winkle. Keeps the count 0-2. Check over at the runner at third by Vaughn. And the 0-2 once again bounces up there, kicks away from Harrington. Coming down the third base line will be Garachi to score on the wild pitch. So 2-0 your score. Garachi scores. Count goes to 1-2. Well, that just shows you the importance of battling. Winkle fouled off 2-strike foul balls to stay alive eventually. The wild pitch allowing his teammate to score. So the base is empty, 1-2 the count, 2 outs, and the pitch is going to be fouled off once again. Coming pitch will be the 7th of this plate appearance. Kellyan's Pizza serving up great food, just like the Breads and Phillies are serving up strikeouts. Call 298-2048 to place your order or get pickup, whichever one you prefer. We've already had 1 Kellyan's Pizza strikeout in this inning. And the 1-2 is a pop-up foul and out of play. We are hoping to get a second Kellyan's Pizza strikeout, but Winkle just won't stop fouling off 2-strike pitches as he's now fouled off 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Digging in, the 9th place batter in the batting order. As Vaughn wheels and fires the 1-2 once again, and this time it's going to be tipped into the mitt of Harrington for strike 3. Another Kellyan's Pizza strikeout delivered, this time by Corey Vaughn. But in the inning, a run on a hit. There were no errors and none left. As we head now to the bottom of the second, your score, Dixie Heights 2 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The Thoroughbreds find themselves down 2-0 as Dixie scores individual runs in each of the first 2 innings. Corey Vaughn, Austin Nichols, and Mason Smiley We'll be starting things off for the Breds here in the bottom of the second frame. Vaughn on the mound. Corey had a good day despite the loss back on Monday, reaching base all 4 times. A couple of base hits, a walk. He was also hit by a pitch, and he's been hit by a pitch here as well. So Vaughn, for the second time this season, gets to go on down to first the freeway because makes that his 4th. I was looking at the wrong one. His team leading 4th time getting hit by a pitch. First base runner of the game for the Breds as Austin Nichols will now come to the plate. Nichols on the season, batting a solid 300. Has a double. Tied for the team lead in RBIs with 4. He's also scored a couple of runs as the first pitch is down low for ball 1. Adkins looks in to get the sign from his catcher, Bosley. Now takes a look over at first as the next pitch is swung and missed. A pitch that appeared to be a bit inside. This count goes even at 1-1. Well, the Phillies, they're 4-1 on the season after a win last Tuesday. Excuse me, down at Whitley County, 13-0 in 5. Tonight they're at Rockcastle County as the next pitch is taken for a strike. 1-2 now the count to Nichols. 1 on, nobody out for the Breds here in the bottom of the second, trailing 2-0. Phillies will be back in action tomorrow as they'll head to Maysville. Here's a bouncer back up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman, Stikzinski. He's able to retire the lead runner, Vaughn, on a nice play. Return to first is not in time, but still an A-plus defensive play by Stikzinski for the first out of the inning.
Now batting number 36, Mason Smiley.
They'll bring Mason Smiley to the plate. Mason on the year, batting just 125 as he's struggling coming out of the gate. 1 for 8, but is co-leader on the team in RBIs with 4. And also the co-leader on the team in bases on balls with 4, leading to a .462 on base percentage. First pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count. Over at first base, Garachi holding the runner Austin Nichols on. This next pitch is fouled off and out of play over the Breds dugout, evening up the count at 1-1. Now the Phillies tomorrow will be in Maysville as they'll play Mason County at 10, Ryle at 1, and Great Crossing at 4. So a busy day tomorrow for our girls. They'll be at Paris on Monday for a 5:30 start. Next pitch is taken for a strike. First strikeout of the game for Adkins, and there are now 2 outs in the inning for Lucas Harrington. Let's see here.
Now batting number 3, Lucas Harrington.
Next Thursday, the Phillies will be at home and they'll host Lexington Catholic. That'll be a big game at 6. I believe that Mike Aldrich is going to call the play-by-play on that one. Left-handed hitting Harrington awaits the first pitch. It's going to be sliced into left. Chasing after it will be the left fielder Tyler Winkle. He's under it and will have it for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was 1 man left as we head now to the top of the third. Your score, Dixie Heights 2 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. We're heading to the third inning, which is being brought to you this year by Clinic Pharmacy. Locally owned so you can experience the best personalized care. Already leading 2-0, Dixie will have the top of the order coming to the plate here in the third inning.
Number 3, Jay Flynn.
Jay Flynn will start things off. He began the game by reaching on a base on balls after fouling off a 2-strike pitch. Later came home to score on Logan Wilson's fielder's choice. First delivery to him from Vaughn is going to be a liner. Caught on the hop by Harris. He'll just throw to first. Will be in time to retire Flynn for out number 1. So very quickly, 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the third for Alex Stekzinski, the second baseman who also walked his first time up but was retired on a fielder's choice. Over at third, Smiley, a step in on the infield grass. Wind still blowing out towards left, but not as strong as it was the first of the game as the next pitch is delivered down low for a ball. Well, the tennis team, after taking the spring break off, will be back in action at Clark County on Monday, so best of luck to Coach Markley and his tennis teams. The wind and the 1-0 is right down Main Street, evening up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Stekzinski wears the number 11 on the back of that jersey. Awaits the next delivery to him. And the 1-1 pitch bounces up there. 2 balls and a strike now, the count on the Colonel second baseman. He made a dandy defensive play in the last half inning, diving and stopping a ball that looked like he was headed towards center field and getting the out at second base on a force. Next pitch is down low, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Stekzinski. Vaughn has already walked a couple of batters, one of which later came around to score. Winds and fires a 3-1 to the plate. It's going to be on the outside part. That'll load up the count at 3-2. Second consecutive plate appearance with which Stekzinski has gone to a full count. Trying to hang in there as the payoff pitch is delivered. Down low, ball 4. So for the second time in the ball game, Stekzinski reaches on a base on balls,
Now batting, number 4,
giving him
Ethan Bosley.
a team-leading 4 walks on the year. Now Ethan Bosley to the plate. Bosley reached on a fielder's choice his first time up over at first base. Excuse me, Grubb will be holding Stekzinski on. He's 3 for 3 in the stolen base department this year. Now a time called as Coach Whitaker will jog out to the mound, and we'll see what we'll have here. Coach talking to Elijah Harris. And whatever needed to be said has been said, and Coach will go on back to the dugout. Talked about the tennis team at Clark County on Monday. The track team also will be getting back into action after taking the week off. On Tuesday, they'll be heading to Dunbar for an all-comers invitational, so best of luck to our track team. Both teams, girls and boys, this coming Tuesday at Dunbar. Check of the runner at first. The pitch to the plate is going to be swung on and tipped foul for strike 1 to Bosley. With that fielder's choice, Bosley now 4 for 13 on the year. Now a throw over to first, but diving back in time is Stekzinski. Last time he was on base, he was leaning just a bit, but not that time. Shortens up his lead by about a step or so against the left-handed pitcher. Next pitch to the plate's down low, kicks away from Harrington, and on down to second base will go Stekzinski on the wild pitch. So with 1 out, a runner in scoring position, and a count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Bosley. Number 4 will step in there. Bosley with a couple of RBIs on the season. Check back at second by Vaughn, and the pitch is slammed into left. Nichols going back at the fence, watches it sail over it for a home run. So Ethan Bosley connects on a 2-run homer. That's in fact, that's Dixie's first home run of the season as a team. And that'll put the Colonels up 4-0 here in the top half of the third. Well, I knew it was hit plenty hard enough. My only question was it going to stay high enough to get out of here? And it just barely did clear the fence, but clear the fence it did for the 2-run shot. Logan Wilson now will return to the plate. Wilson had an RBI fielder's choice driving in the first run of the game in the first of the Colonels. Wind, and the pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike. Well, if you include the Henderson County game, Harrison County opponents have now scored in 10 of the last 11 innings. That's not a good trend. The wind, and Vaughn's 0-1 is going to be fly ball into right field. Going back, Bramble, still going back, still going back, still going back. Reaches up and makes the grab just about 10 feet from the fence for out number 2. So Wilson gave the ball a ride, but the ballpark held it. So with 2 down, Brad Cutcamp returns to the plate. He had a fly ball out to left field to end the first.
Number 14, Brad Cutcamp.
Scott watching the game. They'll be playing Dixie after this contest is over. And right now the Colonels lead 4-0 here in the top of the third. First pitch to Cotkamp is fouled off and out of play down to Shirley Field for strike 1. Number 14 adjusts the helmet a bit before stepping back into the batter's box. Now wheels the bat around, awaiting the next pitch to him from Vaughn. And the 0-1 delivery is a bouncer past the mound, gloving it. The shortstop McIlvain picks up, throws to first, and he'll kick away from the first baseman, Braxton Grubb. I'm going to call it a single. I think that Cotkamp was already there. Would have taken an extraordinary play for McIlvain to make that one. So an infield single keeps the inning going for Kieran Gracie. Gracie doubled and scored the last time he came to the plate. As the inning continues for the Colonels. Cotkamp being held on at first base by Grubb as the first pitch to the plate's down low for ball. Here's a snap throw down to first, but not in time. Dixie came in 1-2 with their only victory over Villa Madonna, but today the Lumber has followed them to this area, and they are smacking the ball hard. Next pitch, here goes the runner. A bouncer just foul. Hit about 10 feet behind the third base bag and was fouled by no more than a foot. The count evens up at 1-1 on Gracie. He'll get the sign from his head coach and third base coach, Chris Maxwell, before stepping back into the box. Check of the runner at first base by Vaughn. And the pitch is going to be slammed into center field. Cole going back. It's over his head. Making his way to third base will be Cotkamp. Just now, Cole coming up with the baseball. Here he comes to the plate. The throw's going to be up the third base line. So a 2-out RBI double by Kieran Gracie puts the Dixie Heights Colonels up 5-0. As they are battering Corey Vaughn today. 3-run inning.
Number 25, Micah Sturdivant.
Micah Sturdivant now to the plate. Sturdivant struck out his first time up. First pitch to him here is pop foul out of play. Single runs in the first and second innings for the Colonels, and then a 3 spot here in the third. That's how they've gotten their 5. 2-run homer by Ethan Bosley, the big hit in the inning. Stretched by Vaughn, the check of the runner at second. And the pitch is a bouncer to the left side. Glove by McElvain, drops it, picks it back up. His throw to first base is going to be in time. So a good play by McElvain to stick with it as the third out is recorded. However, 3 runs in the inning, including the 2-run homer by Ethan Bosley. That was one of 3 base hits. There were no errors and 1 man left aboard. So as we head now to the bottom of the third, your score, Dixie Heights 5 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop, the Reds down 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Benton Bramall, Braxton Grubb, and then back to the top of the order, and Elijah Harris to face Mason Adkins, who right now with that 5-run lead will probably start challenging our hitters just a bit more. Once again, the third inning sponsored by Clinic Pharmacy, locally owned, so you can experience the best personalized care.
Now batting, number 9, Benton Bramall.
Bramall, as we said, start things off. Stands in there and awaits the first delivery. It's going to be a bouncer to the right side. Glove by the first baseman, Garachi, for out number 1. That was almost too easy. So 1 up and 1 down. We'll bring Braxton Grubb to the plate. Grubb over at first base today.
Now batting, number 9, Braxton Grubb.
Look at Braxton's numbers after this first delivery to him from Adkins. And the pitch is outside for ball 1. Grubb on the year, batting 182. Does have a triple, which is tied with the team lead. A couple of RBIs, 3 runs scored. Next pitch is taken up high for ball 2. 2-0 now the count on Grubb with 1 out and nobody on for the Reds here in the bottom half of the third. The next pitch to the plate from Adkins is fouled off another play to the right side. 2-1 the count to Grubb. Well, the quarterfinals of the girls' state tournament going on today. Earlier this afternoon, it was 16th ranked Sacred Heart knocking off Bowling Green 66-54. Bowling Green had defeated Bishop Brossart in double overtime in the first round. So the next pitch is delivered up high for a 3-1 count. Also, second ranked Anderson County defeated Franklin County 53-35. Right now as we speak, third ranked Marshall County and 8th ranked Bethlehem going at each other. Here's a shot to center field. Hurth going back and over and makes the grab for out number 2. Well, Grubb got every bit of it, but Hurth was in the right place. So at 2 down, we'll go back to the top of the order and Elijah Harris. Harris, a bouncer out to third base, his first time up. Harris on the year, now batting 100 on 1 out of 10. But is the co-leader on the team in run score with 5 and walks with 4, leading to a .471 on-base percentage. Here's a bouncer up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting that time by Elijah. Keeps the inning going for Cliffy McElvain. In fact, that's the first hit of the ball game for the Thoroughbreds and only our second base runner. Need to start chipping away at this 5-run deficit here in this third inning. McElvain, a bouncer to second when he came to bat before. Over at first base, Harris is going to be held on by Garachi. Good size lead by the Reds second baseman over there. As Adkins checks him out, throws the next pitch way outside for a ball. Later on tonight, 17th ranked Henderson County and 18th ranked Russell will play in the final quarterfinal game of the day at the Girls Sweet 16 up at Rupp. Next pitch is low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes the count to McElvain with 2 outs and a runner on first here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Shadows continue to crawl across the infield. Checking the runner by Adkins, and the next pitch is outside again. 3 balls and no strikes to count to McElvain. Cliffy has not walked this year. Be a good time to start. He has been hit by a pitch once. The 3-0, McElvain taking all the way. It's right down the middle for a strike. So count goes to 3-1. Gunnar Cole on deck, hoping for a chance to bat here in the 3rd. But Cliffy's got to get on first. Check of the runner, and the pitch to the plate is a bouncer past the mound. Slow roller, scooped up by the shortstop Flynn. His throw to first base is in time to get McElvain for out number 3. Nice play that time by the shortstop. No runs, there was 1 base hit, no errors, 1 left. We're heading to the top of the 4th, and your score remains Dixie Heights 5 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports. All right, as we head to the top of the 4th inning. 5-0 your score. Dixie leading Harrison. Your numbers through the first 3 show the Colonels with 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They've left 2 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they likewise have left 2 aboard. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 coming to the plate here in the 4th inning for Dixie. Wyatt Hirth, Tyler Winkle, and then back to the top, and Jay Flynn. Corey Vaughn still on the mound, gets the sign, and his first pitch is delivered outside for ball 1. 4th inning brought to you by Palmer Hampton Realty. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Call us today and let us work for you. Vaughn winds and fires the 1-0 to the plate, and it's going to be down low again. 2 balls and no strikes the count to the center fielder for Dixie. Talking about the Girls Sweet 16 with those wins earlier today in the quarters. 16th ranked Sacred Heart and number 2 Anderson will play in the first semifinal tomorrow morning. Next pitch is swung on and tipped foul into the glove of Harrington. This count goes 2-1 on the batter, Hirth. Hirth coming into the ball game was 0 for 6, and being that he grounded out to second, he's now 0 for 7 on the early season. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Hirth a little bit out in front of that one. Evening up the count at 2-2. Right field really severe on the right fielders with that sun. Here's a shot into center field. Cole going after it. He's under it, and we'll have it. We're out number 1. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning brings Tyler Winkle to the plate. Winkle, a strikeout victim his first time up. One of a couple of Ks on the day for Vaughn. Stand in there now with 1 out and nobody on, but his team leading 5-0 here in the top of the 4th. Next pitch is going to stay high for a ball. You probably know about Snappy's Beast Pizza, but don't forget about trying their calzones and sandwiches too. Call 235-7627. That's 235. Thank you, Ryan. A little more quiet than the first time, but that's okay. Here's a pop-up to the left side of the infield. McIlvain's under it, and we'll have it for out number 2. So at 2 down, we'll go back to the top of the order now, and Jay Flynn. Flynn walked and scored the first run of the game for Dixie back in the first. He's also had a ground ball out to second base. Trying to start a 2-out rally here. First delivery to him is going to be down low and inside for ball 1. Flynn, a junior, on this team dominated by juniors and seniors. This is a rather experienced club. In fact, the only sophomore is Bosley, the catcher. Next pitch is taken up high for ball 2. Everybody else on the team, juniors and seniors. The wind by Vaughn, and the 2-0 to the plate is going to be just low for ball 3. Or ball 3. 3-0 the count. Stiksinski on deck, hoping for a chance to bat here in this 4th inning. As the next pitch is delivered, down low, ball 4. So the second time in the ball game that Flynn has reached on a base on balls. And the 4th walk of the contest surrendered by Vaughn. Alex Stiksinski comes to the plate. He's got the base on balls a couple of times in the game. Over at first, Grubb will be holding the runner Flynn on. Here he goes. The pitch is low and inside. Harrington's throw down to second base will not be in time. So another runner in scoring position for the Colonels. They've scored in every inning so far through the first 3. Vaughn trying to stop that stretch if he can just retire Stiksinski somehow. Check back at the runner at second, and the pitch to the plate's going to stay high for a ball. 2-0 the count. Later on tonight, the Cincinnati Reds will take to the field. The Reds 5-1 on the early season. The 2-0 is low and outside for ball 3. Well, the first 2 times Stiksinski came to the plate, Vaughn walked him on full count pitches. Look for Stiksinski to be taken all the way on this 3-0 delivery. Down at second base, Flynn takes his lead. And the 3-0 to the plate is on the outside part for a strike. 3-1 the count now to Stiksinski. Cincinnati first in the National League Central, 1 game ahead of St. Louis. Coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Pirates in which they outscored Pittsburgh 30-8. Here's a throw back to second, but back in time was Flynn. Tonight, the Reds start a 3-game series at Arizona. The Diamondbacks 2-4 and last in the National League West. It's a nice game at 9:40. Tyler Mahle taking on Taylor Widener. Next pitch is a chopper foul to the left side in front of the dugout for Dixie. And for the 3rd time in as many plate appearances, Alex Stiksinski goes to a full count at the plate. The first 2 times he walked. Let's see if we can strike him out this time. Flynn takes his lead. And the payoff pitch is outside, ball 4. Alex Stiksinski with his 3rd walk of the contest. This is a kid who came into the game 1 for 9 on the year and had only walked twice. Making it easy for him. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs for Ethan Bosley, who went deep over the left field fence his first time up. And now coach heading to the mound, and that might be all for Vaughn. Kind of a surprise starter as he wasn't listed to start at the first. But now we'll give the ball over to Coach Whitaker, and Coach will have a little chat with him before he lets him head on back to the dugout. Right at the edge of the dugout, J.D. Kendall itching to go out there. So as we make these switches around, as there will be some defensive realignment as well. Your situation is this. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Dixie Heights leads by a score of 5-0. They got runners on first and second and 2 out. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. Back here on the hilltop, the new pitcher on the mound for the Thoroughbreds will be J.D. Kendall, making his first appearance of the season, taking over for Corey Vaughn, who ended up going the first 3 2/3 innings. Gave up all 5 runs, all 5 of them earned. Also gave up 4 base hits while walking 5. And is responsible for the 2 batters on base as Ethan Bosley comes to the plate. As we said, Bosley had 2-run homers last time up. He's also reached on a fielder's choice. Kendall trying to retire him here and keep the score at a reasonable 5-run deficit. Check of the runners by the sophomore, and the pitch is going to be slammed foul and out of play down to Shirley Field for strike 1. Get an insurance agent that gets you covered like an All-American center fielder. That's Dan Furnish here in Harrison County. Call 234-4514 to talk to Dan. Long look into his catcher, Harrington, by Kendall. As he checks out the runner at second, and the pitch to the plate is going to stay outside, evening up the count at 1-1. Talking about the Reds and the Diamondbacks. They'll play at 8:10 tomorrow night, and then wrap up the series on Sunday at a 4:10 start. Tyler Maley, the starter tonight, 1-0 with a 3.60 ERA for the Reds. Here's a throw to first, but not in time. Taylor Widener, 1-0, has no ERA. Stepping back in the box will be Bosley. Standing way back in the box, in fact. Catcher today for Dixie. Vaughn now at shortstop. This next pitch is a little high. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Bosley. The only sophomore on this team. The rest all juniors and seniors. Harris and Vaughn trying to keep the runner at second. Flynn close. The 2-1 is slammed foul and out of play to the right side. Evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So a big money pitch coming up here for Kendall. Trying to get his team out of the inning and get those bats to start swinging in the bottom half of this frame. We're in the 4th. Check back at the runner at second base by Kendall. And the pitch is tipped foul in and out of the glove of Harrington. So Bosley stays alive at 2-2. Corey Vaughn in his 3 2/3 innings of work had a couple of Kellyan's Pizza strikeouts. Kendall here trying to get his first. Flynn at second, Stikzinski at first. Stretched by Kendall, and the 2-2 once again is down low. Runs the count full at 3-2. Well, through 3 2/3 innings, Corey Vaughn threw 76 pitches, and this is already the 7th pitch of the first player that Kendall has faced. Check of the runner. The payoff is outside ball 4. And the bases are loaded with Colonels with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, and Dixie already leading 5-0.
Logan Wilson.
They'll bring Logan Wilson back to the plate. Had an RBI fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. He's also had a fly ball out to right. Wilson came into the game batting .273. First pitch is going to find itself dropping in front of the center fielder. 1-run scores. Coming around third is Stiksinski. He'll score as well. And on the throw home on down to second base goes Wilson, as that 2-run base hit by Logan Wilson has put his Dixie Heights Colonels up now 7-0. As Brett's pitching has given up runs in every inning so far.
Number 14, Brad Kotkamp.
We'll have a courtesy runner for Dixie. It's going to be Brandon Brooks, who will be running at third base for Bosley. So give Wilson 2 RBIs on that double. Wilson with his 3rd double of the year and his 3rd and 4th RBIs. Brad Kotkamp to the plate now. He had an infield single, scored a run last time up. Here he chops one past the mound, gloved by Harris, whose throw to first base is in time to retire Kotkamp for the 3rd out. But a couple more runs come across the plate on the double by Logan Wilson, which was the only hit. There were no errors and 2 left. As we head now to the bottom half of the 4th, your score, Dixie Heights 7 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Brett's Baseball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, the Braves have their work cut out for them as they trail 7-0 as we head into the bottom of the 4th. The 4th inning being sponsored by Palmer Hampton Realty. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Call us today and let us work for you. It'll be Gunnar Cole, Corey Vaughn, and Austin Nichols coming to the plate for the Braves here in the inning. Braves have picked up just 1 base hit so far against Mason Adkins. Adkins making his first appearance of the season for Dixie. Gunnar, a ground out to second his first time up. Good thing about baseball is you never run out of time. So if it takes us the next 4 innings to get 7 runs, then so be it. But we need to start chipping away at it. Adkins' first pitch to Cole, a squaring to bunt down the third base line. The third baseman Wilson picks it up, throws on to first base to retire Cole for out number 1. That bunt just a little bit too hard. So 1 up and 1 down will bring Corey Vaughn to the plate.
Number 44, Corey Vaughn.
Vaughn was hit by a pitch his first time up. Will now dig in and try to get a base runner here. First delivery to him from Adkins is going to be up high and inside for ball 1 down at third base. Wilson with several steps in on the infield grass. Now he'll back up to the cut of the grass. Difficult time of the day for batters in that the pitcher is in the sun and the batter's in the shade, so the ball comes from the light into the dark. The 1-0 is up high. 2 balls and no strikes count now to Vaughn, and I think that might have crossed up Bosley as he'll go to the mound to discuss with Adkins what to do next. Killian's Pizza serving up great food just like the Breads and Phillies are serving up strikeouts. Call 298-2048 to order for pickup or delivery right now. Next pitch is outside and high. This count goes to 3-0. Well, so far, Adkins has not walked a batter. In fact, has gone to a 3-ball count on just the third time he's done that. The 3-0 is going to be right down the middle as Vaughn was taking all the way. Count goes to 3-1. 1 out, nobody on for the Braves here in the bottom of the fourth. Game number 1 of the Harris Memorial Hospital Invitational. Later on tonight, Dixie and Scott High School will play. The 3-1 to the plate is going to be popped up foul and back behind us. That'll load up the count at 3-2 on Vaughn. Well, the UK baseball team this weekend at home against LSU. Batcats 19-7 overall, 5-4 in the conference. LSU kind of similar, 18-11 overall and 1-8 in conference play. Here's a high fly ball into left field, coming in on it Winkle. He's under it and will bring it in for out number 2. So a 2 down in the inning, Austin Nichols. The last hope to try to get a base runner here in this inning. The left fielder grounded into a fielder's choices, first time up. Nichols will stand in there now. Came into the game batting an even 300 on 3 out of 10. First pitch to him is in the dirt for ball 1. Yeah, the Batcats not doing too badly this year. SEC awfully tough, awfully tough. Flashing the sign to the mound is Bosley to Adkins. And the pitch is going to be slammed into center field. Hurth going back near the fence. He's got room, falls down as he hits the bank, but is still able to make the grab. Well, as so many times happens against teams that aren't familiar with us here, center fielders or left fielders hit that bank and all of a sudden go down, which is what Hurth did, but he was able to keep his concentration well enough to where he was able to make the grab for out number 3. As for the second time in the ball game, Harrison County goes down 1-2-3. So as we head to the top of the 5th, your score remains Dixie Heights 7 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breads Baseball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here on the hilltop. 4 innings are in the books, and it's the visiting Colonels from Dixie Heights who have the lead. Your numbers through the first 4. For Dixie, 7 runs on 5 hits, no errors. They've left 4 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Brads, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. New pitcher on the mound for Harrison County will be Braxton Grubb. Grubb, who was originally slated to start this game, now coming on in relief. Other defensive changes. Sees Corey Vaughn now playing at first base, and Cliffy McIlvain is back at shortstop.
Number 9, Braxton Grubb.
See if that's the only changes I noticed anyway. It'll be Kieran Garachi, Micaiah Sturdivant, and Wyatt Hurth coming to the plate for Dixie.
Now batting number 20, Kieran Geraci.
Single runs in the first and second, 3 runs in the third, and a couple of runs in the fourth. For the Colonels, the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Grubb gets the sign from Harrington, wheels and fires the 1-0. It's going to be at the knees for a strike, evening up the count at 1-1. Grubb making his 3rd appearance of the year. He's thrown 10 innings, given up 6 hits and 3 walks while giving up a couple of runs, one of which has been earned. Here's a bouncer to short. Nice grab by McIlvain on a tough hop, but then throws it over the glove of Vaughn for an error. First error of the ball game committed by the Thoroughbreds. Allows Gracci to reach first to lead off the inning.
Number 25, Micaiah Sturdivant.
Micaiah Sturdivant to the plate now. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to short. Left-hander DHing for the pitcher Mason Adkins. Over at first base, Vaughn holding Gracci on. Stretch by Grubb. And the pitch to the plate is going to be down low for a ball. Reds opened up the season with 4 straight wins, but then lost to Henderson County down in Henderson 9-2 back on Monday. And right now, the backs to the wall, trailing 7-0 in the 5th. Next pitch is going to be low and outside. That runs the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Calling time is Sturdivant before stepping back in. Sturdivant, a senior. Grubb from the stretch, the check of the runner and the pitch. Here he goes. The pitch is swung through and missed for a strike, and then the second base sliding safely will be Gracci with the steal. For Gracci, that's his second stolen base of the season. His count goes to 2-1 on Sturdivant. So another run for the Colonels, now in scoring position down at second base with nobody out. Next pitch is down low. Makes the count 3-1 on Sturdivant. Outfield playing him pretty much straight away. A lot of crooked numbers up there on the scoreboard for our visitors. Nothing but goose eggs for the Brads as the next pitch is outside, ball 4. Gosh. Puts runners on first and second. That is the 7th walk delivered by Harrison County pitching in the ball game. Wyatt Hurst to the plate now. He's the one that made that spectacular catch in center field, falling down on the bank, but still able to keep his concentration and make the catch. He's 0 for 2 at the plate, however, with a ground out to second and a fly ball out to center. First pitch to him is down low and outside for ball 1. Brett scheduled to play tomorrow at 5:30 against Scott. We'll hope the rains stay away and allow us to get that ball game in. 1-0 to the plate, down low again. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Wyatt Hurst. Hurst now on the season, 0 for 8. But 2 runners on and nobody out. Next pitch is a chopper to the left side and in the hole between short and third. Coming up with the ball will be Nichols, and that will hold the runner Gracci at third, but the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning for the Colonels. That was the first base hit of the season for Hurst. Brings Tyler Winkle to the plate. Winkle a strikeout. He's also popped out to short. Winkle 1 for 5 on the season. First pitch to him from Grubb is at the letters for a strike. Thank you, Mr. Home Plate Umpire. Corner infielders draw in for the Brads, middle infielders back. Brads defense kind of between a rock and a hard place here. Next pitch, it drops in there at the knees for a strike. Nice pitch that time by Grubb. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. After Winkle, we head back to the top of the order, so a very important batter to get out here. The 0-2 is sliced foul and out of play the right side. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Gosh, how many 2-strike foul balls is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've had 8 2-strike foul balls. Next pitch is outside. Count goes to 1 and 2. Smiley in at third. Over at first base. Vaughn right at the cut of the grass. The 1-2 is a chopper foul to the right side. So a 9th 2-strike foul ball by Dixie. They have really been battling our pitchers today. And most of those those people that got 2-strike foul balls eventually got on base. It shows if you keep on battling, eventually you're going to get a pitch you like. The 1-2 is down low, kicks away from Harrington. On down from third base comes Garachi on the wild pitch, and the Colonels have gone ahead 8-0. Also on the play, Sturdivant moves to third, and Hurth moves on down to second. My, oh my. So with runners on second and third, the count goes even at 2-2 on Winkle. Next pitch is cued foul off the end of the bat. That makes now 10 2-strike foul balls by Dixie in the game. Infield in for the Breds. They can't afford to let any more runs come across the plate, as the Colonels have scored in all 5 innings now. Break even is slammed into left center field. Nichols is there, though, to grab it. The runner on second base, Hurth, did not realize that the ball is caught, and so the double play will get the runner off a second anyway. So let's see, that goes 7-1 to 4 on the out. 1-4. So 2 outs now in the inning. Takes us back to the order, and Jay Flynn, who's walked twice and scored twice, he's also had a ground ball out to second. Down at third base, Sturdivant takes his lead as the first pitch is delivered up high for a ball. Yeah, Hurth thought for sure that ball was going to drop and took off for the races, not realizing the ball had been caught until his teammate at third, Sturdivant, told him to go back, and by that time it was too late. Next pitch is inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Flynn. Grubb, the third pitcher of the day for the Breds, here in his first inning of work and relief, following in the foot paths of Vaughn and Kendall. Next pitch is at the knees for a strike. 2-1 the count. But going back to the Henderson County game, Breds' opponents have now scored in 11 of the last 12 innings. Next pitch is up high. 3-1. The Henderson County scoring in every inning except the third. Meanwhile, the Colonels single runs in the first, second, and fifth, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Here's a bouncer in the hole between short and third. Coming home to score will be Sturdivant. So an RBI base hit by Jay Flynn puts the Colonels up 9-0. And boy, you got to thank Wyatt Hurth for that base running gaff, or else things would be even worse. Jay Flynn gets on base for the 3rd time in the ballgame with that RBI single. First pitch to the plate, taken for a strike by Stigzinski, who has reached base all 3 times on walks. And all 3 times he walked on 3-2 pitch. Vaughn holding the runner on as the next delivery to the plate's up high, evening up the count at 1-1. Stigzinski still 1 for 9 officially on the season. The 1-1 is outside and low. Why don't we like to throw strikes to this guy? 2-1 the count to Stigzinski. Flynn takes his lead at first as Grubb checks him out. And the 2-1 is up high for ball 3. 3-1 the count to Stigzinski, who is now just 1 pitch out of the strike zone away for walking for a 4th time in the ball game. Picking up walks in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th, and scoring in the 3rd and 4th innings. Check of the runner by Grubb, and the 3-1 is a bouncer foul to the left side. I think he did it because he wanted to get to a full count. So for the 4th plate appearance in the ballgame, Alex Stigzinski has gone to a 3-2 pitch. He's walked the first 3 times. Let's see what he does here on number 4. Grubb hoping to throw a strike here. The payoff pitch to Sikzinski is going to be a bouncer to the left side, fielded by the third baseman Smiley. His throw to first base is in time, and for the first time in the ball game, we retire Alex Sikzinski. But here in the 5th inning, 2 more runs come across the plate. They came by way of 2 base hits. There was 1 error and 1 left. As we head now to the bottom of the 5th, your score, Dixie Heights 9 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. All right, as we come back to the bottom of the 5th inning, Harrison County down 9-0. There'll be Mason Smiley, Lucas Harrington, and Benton Bramble scheduled to come up here in this inning. We'll see if that will be the case. Smiley batting for the 2nd time, struck out looking his first time up. The only strikeout delivered by Adkins in the game. Watch the first pitch here, bounce up there for ball 1. Along with the Breds game tomorrow against Scott, taking a look on into next week. On Monday, we'll be hosting Robertson County at 5:15. That's a district game, so very important. On Tuesday, Fleming County comes to town for a 5:15 start as well. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play by Smiley, evening up the count at 1-1 on the leadoff batter for the Breds here in the 5th. Next Thursday, we'll take a trip to Carlisle to take on Nicholas County in a district matchup. And then next Friday, we'll head to Clark County, team that Harrison County beat in the opener of this season, 5-3 here on the Hilltop. We'll get to play on their brand new field over there in Winchester that's close to the high school. Next pitch is down low, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to get there because I tried to figure out a way when the girls' regional tournament was over there, but couldn't quite find the right road to get on to get back to the baseball field. Very frustrating. I could see it. I just couldn't get to it. 2-1 is smacked foul and out of play down the left side. Right past the Scott Eagle players who are anxiously awaiting the end of this game so they can take on Dixie. Count evens up at 2-2 on Smiley. Breds in grave danger of dropping to 4-2 on the year unless they can make up these 9 runs in the next 3 innings. Next pitch is on the inside corner for strike 3, and for the 2nd time in the ball game, Smiley goes down looking. That'll bring Lucas Harrington to the plate. Smiley has now struck out 5 times this year.
Lucas Harrington.
Harrington, a fly ball out to center field when he came to bat before. Left-handed batter stands in there now. And the first pitch to him is down low for ball 1. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Adkins has only thrown 45 pitches, so he shouldn't be tiring any. Breds have had just 2 base runners in the game. Corey Vaughn got hit by a pitch leading off the 2nd. Elijah Harris had a 2-out single in the 3rd. This next pitch is taken for a strike, evening up the count at 1-1. But presently, Adkins on a run in which he has retired 5 straight thoroughbreds. And staked to a 9-0 lead. He can pretty much throw whatever he wants to at us. The righty's next delivery is going to be pop foul and out of play to the left side. 1-2 now the count to Lucas. Takes a moment before stepping back into the batter's box. Now he's ready to go. Winding and firing. Adkins to the plate. Bounces up there. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think I may have mentioned that Adkins is a junior. Pitching pretty well here. It's the first time he's taken to the mound for the Colonels this season. Break-even pitch is chopped foul to the first base side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Harrington with 1 out and nobody on. Harrington levels the bat as Adkins gets the sign from his catcher Bosley. And the 2-2 once again is up high, loading up the count at 3-2. Harrington trying to get on base any way possible. What the Brez need down 9-0 is base runners. The payoff pitch from Adkins is across the outside part of the plate for strike 3. So 2 straight strikeouts looking for the first 2 outs of the inning. Benton Bramall will now come to the plate.
Number 22, Benton Bramall.
Bramall, a ground ball out to first base when he came up before on the first pitch he saw from Adkins. Another left-handed batter. First pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Bramall on the year batting .364, but with the team's only home run, slugging a team leading .636. He's also co-leader on the team in RBIs with 4. Next pitch to him is hit in the air into shallow right center field. Calling for it, the center fielder Wyatt Hurth will pull it in for out number 3. And for the second consecutive inning, the Breds go down in order. So as we head now to the top half of the 6th inning, your score: Dixie Heights 9 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports. Back here at the Hilltop, we're heading to the top half of the 6th inning of a game that Dixie has dominated, leading 9-0. Single runs in the first and second, 3 in the third, and 2 more runs in each of the 4th and 5th innings. Overall, Dixie 9 runs on 7 base hits, no errors. They've left 5. For the Thoroughbreds, no runs on 1 hit. They've made 1 error and left a couple of people on base. Braxton Grubb will return to the mound for his 2nd inning of work in relief. Gave up a couple of runs last inning. Some changes to let you know about. Jacob Craycraft has taken over at first base. Brian Vaughn is now at short. And behind the plate, we've now got Bodie Muth. So coach making some adjustments here in the latter stages of this contest. Let's see, out in left field is, Gunner's moved over to left. Third base. Is that Cliffy? Yeah, Cliffy McIlvain at third, taking over for Smiley. And let's see, who's that out in center field? I thought that was Gunner. No.
Now
Yeah, we'll figure out.
number 4, Ethan Bosley.
Ethan Bosley, Logan Wilson, and Brad Cutcamp will be coming to the plate for Dixie here in the top of the 6th. Bosley with that 2-run homer, which really opened things up back in the 3rd. He's also reached on a fielder's choice and walked in the contest. Right now, Coach Mark Sadler and the home plate umpire making sure that all the substitutions have been put to place properly. And now the home plate umpire checking with Dixie's people to make sure that they've got the changes as well. Of course, Dixie up 9-0. Probably couldn't care less. Bosley steps in there against Grubb, the first time that these two players have faced each other. Bosley facing his 3rd Harrison County pitchers. He also faced Vaughn and Kendall. Here's a pop-up in the infield. Brian Vaughn at short, calling for it, waiting on it, and hauling it in for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 up and 1 down for Dixie here in the top half of the 6th inning. And we'll bring Logan Wilson to the plate. He's driven in 3 runs in the game.
Logan Wilson.
Wilson had come into the game with just 2 RBIs in the first 3 games, but 3 today. 1 on a fielder's choice, 2 on a double his last time up. He's also had a fly ball out to right. Time called by Wilson. Now he'll step back in there and be ready to go. Pitch is going to be tipped foul for strike 1. 1 out, nobody on for Dixie here in the top of the 6th. We invite you to join us for our post-game show, sponsored by Dustin Rose out Farm Bureau. We'll go over all the stats and scoring and have a chat with a member of the Harrison County coaching staff, as well as name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. There's a little change up that finds its way across the outside part of the plate for strike 2 as Wilson right now wishing he's taking a swing at that pitch. Out in left field. Cole at the edge of the outfield grass, or the bank, at the edge of the bank. Next pitch is outside, 1-2 the count. Lights have been turned on here at the Hilltop baseball field and are just now starting to take effect. As the 1-2 is delivered, down low. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Muth might have been crossed up by Braxton as they'll have a little chat on the mound before we get back to play. Now they've got all that resolved and get back to baseball. Deep breath by Grubb on the mound as he winds and fires the break even to the plate, which is going to be popped up in shallow center field. Going over to pick it up will be the second baseman, Elijah Harris, for out number 2. So with 2 down and nobody on base, Brad Kottkamp will return. Crump is 1 for 3. Had a fly ball out to left field in the first. Had an infield single and scored a run in the 3rd. He's also had a ground ball out to second. Now stands in there and awaits the first delivery to him from Grubb. Time called by the batter, Kottkamp. As he steps out of the batter's box to collect himself. Grubb wheels and fires the first pitch. Is on the inside part of the plate. Nice pitch.